England created enough chances yesterday to score, but the players themselves have to accept responsibility. Their finishing was not good enough. Roy Hodgson cannot go on there and take the place of Jamie Vardy and put it in the back of the net.
I think his post-match was spot on. He's saying, look, you put Sturridge and Vardy from the start, they ended the match. You had Harry Kane on the pitch. You had Wayne Rooney. We continued domination. It's simple as this. 11 players on the pitch.
You do
everything. You create chances. You can't blame anyone else except the players.
You are being too simplistic. We've just seen the highlights, and obviously, if you haven't had a chance to stay up late and watch the game live, trust me,
how many chances were
highlights. Well, I'll tell you exactly how many chances they had. England had 27 shots on goal. Only 6 on target, and I'll give you the Jamie Vardy opportunity. No more than 2.5, 3 of those opportunities, you would say he's got to score. Probably less than that.
So whose fault is that?
Well, it's the manager's fault because you have to.
When he needs to get on the pitch and score.
No, but listen, if the players are missing sitters, if England are playing in a style that's creating golden opportunity after golden opportunity, if the keeper did play well, I'll give you that. The keeper was solid, not spectacular but solid. If the players are missing open goals, skying chances from 6 yards out. It was summed up, and I said it when we were looking back at the highlights, by that Dele Alli shot from outside the box. It's not good enough.
Why is it Roy Hodgson's fault? Explain to me.
Because he's
on
the
a
coach.
Night like that,
Stanley, he's the coach.
What is he supposed to do?
He is the man.
He's got 23 men. He's used his best 11.
Has he? Has he got his tactics right for that game? He has at his disposal a group of players.
What else more could he have done?
Deary me. He has at his disposal a group of players who are far better than the Slovakians. Well, so you're saying...
So you're saying 26 opportunities.
You're telling me...
You are telling me
arguing.
that he makes 6 changes. Wales made 1 change, a little tweak. Sam Vokes and Robson Canute, it worked a dream.
France made 5 changes.
Yes, they did, Gary.
But they won the game.
And they won the game.
Of course.
And they were not as convincing.
They didn't win the game. They got a draw. But a draw's all they needed. England needed to win that match.
They won the group.
They won the group. So I thought you said won the game. When you make 6 changes like that, and essentially he was giving fringe players a run out. When you make changes like that, the message you're sending out.
You are just a Roy Hodgson basher.
Not at all.
Yes,
not at all.
What are you doing? You are bashing him.
You two are sticking up for him. So you're saying Roy Hodgson did nothing wrong today.
From the match you've watched, they've created enough. The players have not taken the opportunity. How is that a manager's fault, Patrick? How is that a manager's fault?
England didn't concede a goal, OK? So presumably credit to Roy Hodgson because England didn't concede a goal?
Well, far less credit to him for not conceding than the criticism he's due for not scoring. Slovakia needed a point. You're playing a team... You're playing a team that need a point. Stanley,
give me a lineup you would have put up that will make a difference. Give me a lineup that you would have put up.
I'd have started Rooney. He was poor when he came on. You start your best team.
So you've got one player, Wilshere. You're not happy with Wilshere. One player. Okay, 1 mistake. 5 more changes. Name me how bad were they? Klein played really well.
Klein did play well. You play your best team. Now, I don't think he knows his best team, which is his problem. In my opinion, his best team...
Did they play badly?
They played mediocrely, but it's not about whether they played badly or well, Stanley.
At 90 minutes, were they the deserving winners if they were a winner?
No, you're telling me, but listen, you're giving me all this nonsense. Look at the chances they created, X, Y, and Z. They didn't create golden opportunities. You have to, when you're playing inferior opposition, make the opportunities that are easy to score. And that's why you can say the strikers weren't brilliant, but there was no striker out there that had an absolute horror show. Tactically, they didn't get it right. When you make 6 changes for a game you must win to top a group to ensure you get an easier path through the brackets to the semi-finals, if you make the 6 changes and give second-string players a run, you have to expect the criticism, and he's going to get criticism that comes his way.
They created enough chances to win that football match.
So hold on, you're telling me...
The players have not performed and not taken the chances. It's as simple as that. It's a very simple way of looking at it.
Got a
it's not confusing.
I'm getting a headache here.
It's not, Stanley. You're missing. You both are missing the point. You need to win a game of football to guarantee winning the group.
It's not his fault because they've created enough to win that football match.
Stanley, when you don't play your strongest team,
Patrick, and you're at that post-match,
you'll
be defending how you're defending against him.
This is maybe why you've not become a manager.
Because if you're 30 years old, mate,
if you're in a group, do you want to become a manager? Well, good luck with that project. The way you're talking. If you need to win your final group game and you make 6 changes and are clearly playing players that aren't in your best 11, even though I'm not convinced those are his best 11 is. You
not conceding.
There's no other team. There's no other team in this tournament that has to win their game to ensure their best possible position. France were different. They only needed a draw, and you could argue their strength and depth is probably better overall. The 23. There is no other team in this competition that will make 6 changes to their best starting 11 for a game they have to win.
So
Well-
you're saying that England should have picked their best 11,
Correct.
and you're saying they didn't. You tell me what their best 11 is
Well,
then.
I think their best 11, we talked about it on the show after the last game. It's pretty much the team that finished the second game, with the exception of...
the second half of the second game.
Well, not even the second half of the second game, because obviously
Towards
through
the
caution
end,
to
yeah.
win towards the end. You can't have all those strikers.
So you'd
you'd
got
probably
Sturridge
swap in-
and Waddy,
You'd probably
right?
swap Rashford for Lallana, basically.
Okay.
You'd probably put Rashford for Lallana. But I just don't understand it. England... If they're all conquering and they're if they've won the group, I'll be all for it. England, there's only 2 English players that have not featured. They've got 20 outfield players in their squad. Only John Stones and Ross Barkley haven't played a minute of football. There's no other country that's doing that.
And you're saying that 6 changes has affected the night.
Well, listen,
what guarantees you that if you play
unlike
his
you with
best
your
11?
predictions, there are no guarantees.
Yeah.
But when you do make the 6 changes before the game, you're making those 6 changes. You are saying, I've made those 6 changes. The team I'm picking is good enough. This team is good enough to beat Slovakia.
And I
That's
think
what you're saying.
And the team were good enough to beat
good enough.
Slovakia.
Were they?
No, they were good enough, and they should have. But the players
It's
failed.
as a simple way
the
of looking
players
at it,
failed.
yeah.
You cannot tell me that there's players in that England squad that are not good enough to be on that field to win the game against Slovakia.
Exhibit A is Jack Wilshere. I mean, let's get it right. He obviously likes Jack Wilshere. Jack Wilshere's barely had a kick of Premier League football, and he's throwing him in to a European Championships that's tight. He didn't have a kick. I'm sure he's a great player. He's hardly been fit. He's not featured, and he's not good enough to be
out of
there.
that 6, he made 1 mistake.
So
5 more.
Jack Wilshere is good enough at the moment, actually. You know, listen,
It's
the
incredible.
best players in the world have bad games, disappointing games.
Would you have if you're England
games.
manager, do you take Jack Wilshere to the Euros?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't have.
I wouldn't.
So okay, so
I
you
wouldn't.
wouldn't.
So
have.
out of that 6, you've picked out 1. Okay, I agree with you completely, Pat,
Okay.
on that. 5
And
more.
again, I'll
give
give
me
you
the
a
other
pass.
5. How bad the other 5 have performed? You've got Klein, you've got Bertrand, you've got Sturridge, you've got Waddy. You've not started Sturridge and Waddy?
But hold on. But even if you're only going to pick one, even if you're going to pick the Rooney one, Rooney has been masterful in midfield in those first 2 games. He came on and didn't make an impact. It's unfair to judge him when he's coming off the bench because the damage had been done in that final half hour. England have been panicking. And let's be honest, England have been panicking. The damage has been done because you're under massive pressure. England have been under massive pressure in the last 20 minutes of their all 3 games. Okay? They couldn't hold out and hold on to a lead against Russia. They scored with the last kick of the game against Wales, and that Dele Alli shot sums it up. And listen, you can say they defend Hodgson.
Let me tell you, the reason they've been under pressure is because they haven't put away their chances.
It's as simple as that.
Okay, and that is
so
not
it's
the
just, so that's just
coaching.
football, is it?
That's
just
of course
football.
it is.
Okay, you go back to the
Of course
first
it is.
game, right?
And listen,
go back to the first game.
Whether a player scores or not is nothing to do with the coach. Absolutely nothing to do. You know, for example, Vardy.
No, don't give him
had
the baguette
best
of the day, yeah?
No,
You
not
will
yet.
give
So
it to him
it's too
later.
much of a coincidence then that England have got all these strikers. They've had all that possession in the game you've just watched, and it's just one of those things. The manager doesn't deserve any criticism at all. Is that what you're telling me?
Okay, I'm going to on the flip side. Let's go to the first game, first 45 minutes, where they actually put the pressure in the second half when Russia came on and equalised. First 45 minutes, did England play well in your eyes or not?
Listen, none of the performances.
First 45 minutes
I'm not
against
disputing-
Russia.
Stanley,
We're not splendid?
He won't answer a question straight because he's got a bee in his bonnet.
Hold on.
Okay, he's got a bee in
I'm
his
answering
bonnet.
everything. Listen,
that
I'm
Roy
just asking you a
Hodgson-
very simple question. The
trouble
first
with
45 minutes against Russia, was it good enough for you?
Why you ex-professional footballers insist on defending your own? It's blatantly obvious. The facts are there. He made 6 changes. You don't win the game of football. The difference between finishing first and second is massive.
I still don't understand. How do you troubleshoot that issue? You've created 26. You've got 4 or 5 clear-cut chances. How can Roy Hodgson settle that?
Did you see 4 or 5? Did you watch the VT then?
I thought it was
Did you watch
decent
Robert?
because Jamie Vardy had
hold
one
on.
good
Listen,
one.
You're telling me you got
Vardy, Lallana had a very good chance. He's in the box.
Klein.
Klein had one.
How many of those chances are you missing going, I can't believe he's missed that?
Oh,
We're just
naming it.
We've just
Yeah,
named
yeah.
2.
Not
And
the
on
Lallana
another occasion, you know, Henderson spins on the shot, hits it, it gets... Henderson's volley as well, that hits a player. It's flying in. Lallana hits a shot, the keeper makes a great save.
I respect your opinions, but the bottom line is this. We've watched England for 3 games. They're underperforming for the players they've got in their squad, and it is a fact. And it's going to happen sooner rather than later now because of the fact they've given up that top spot in Group B. The first time they play a half-decent team, they are going out. It is as simple as that. And if you disagree with me now, tell me.
I disagree.
So you think they've got enough in the locker?
I think the fact that if he gets the luck of playing Iceland, I think they'll beat Iceland. It's as simple as that.
But
they'll go on to beat
then-
Iceland, then you make quarterfinals.
Okay, I'll
so,
give you that.
So it's not
I'll
a
give you
bad.
that.
It's
Well,
not a bad situation after all.
I'll get my baguette. I'm not going to give it to anyone just yet, but just to illustrate, and this is an important illustration. As you've seen, Stanley's filled in the wall chart. England should have been in that bracket. Now, it's still to be filled in. It's obviously going to be filled in significantly in the next couple of days. But Gary and myself were talking before the show. Wales are now in this half of the draw, England in that. And in this half of the draw, you've basically got Spain. That's going to be the toughest ask as it stands in the round of 16.
And probably the best performing team at the moment as well.
But now, England, who should have been in that half, are in this half because Hodgson fiddled around with team selection. And in this half of the draw, goodness gracious me, you've got England, France, Italy already confirmed, and may well be Germany, possibly Poland, but say for argument's sake it's going to be Germany. So you're telling me Hodgson shouldn't have played the strongest team. If he plays a strong team, and this is the problem.
And there's
and
no
this is
guarantee, Pat.
No, there is no guarantee.
Yeah.
But if he plays his strongest team and doesn't make 6 changes, I can't sit here and say, well, why is he making 6 changes? Why isn't he playing his strongest team?
I'm just going back to the whole point again.
Did he play his strongest team in the first game?
Gary,
did he play his
I'm
strongest
asking
team?
on the first day.
He doesn't know what his strongest team is. That's the problem.
Against Russia on the first game. Do you reckon he played his strongest team? In the first 45 minutes, how well they played?
I think, and I spoke to Gary before the tournament, if you're in a mindset of your manager, you're going to play what you think is your strongest team. And that in itself is a damning indictment on him. He had Harry Kane taking the corners. He got that completely wrong. He bowed to the pressure. Game 2, fair enough, made the right decision in game 2.
And he didn't lose that
Rooney
match.
was taking the corners. No, he didn't lose it. He drew against a Russian team that Wales have just demolished like they were a pub side. So, in hindsight, that Russian result was even worse than the Slovakia one today.
But by the way, a Russian side that knew they were already out of competition.
No, they weren't. Russia weren't out of the competition.
weren't
Gary,
out,
what are you talking about? You don't even know the facts. Russia could have still qualified if they'd have won that game.
Listen, you know this for very well. When you're playing a team on the first day in a carnival tournament, and you're playing a team who's demoralized after 2 games of having 1 point on the 3rd match day, it is a complete different morale. When you're playing teams, when you walk into a tournament, you're high, your hopes is high, your morale is right, you've just arrived at that tournament.
So hold on.
So you're playing on a 3rd game. It's a very different
listen,
situation.
Again, you're both talking nonsense. So you're saying if you've not done well in the first 2 games, your morale's going to be down. Can I just tell you, a team that had no points going into their last game, and Albania are currently going to qualify.
And who were they playing?
They were playing Romania. Yeah. But again, you're just Albania.
It's
have got nothing.
Romania, isn't it?
Romania had a great performance against the French. Isn't it? Not at all.
Yeah,
because you're arguing
anyone could have finished third.
The facts.
If Romania has won that, Romania would have finished third.
How can I argue with people that tell me that Russia couldn't still qualify, and you're telling me
they played really well.
You're not paying attention.
Are Russia going home or not?
Yes, but you said...
No, but are they going home? I rest my case.
No, Gary, you're talking nonsense. You said that Russia didn't have anything to play for. They could have got through to the next stages if they won the game. I'm not spitting at you, but you're trying to cover up for something you didn't know. Russia could have qualified if they won. You're now trying to say, are they going home? Of course they are, because they didn't win. When they kicked off against Wales, that doesn't detract from Wales's performance, because Wales and Russia could both have qualified. Unbelievable what I'm having to put up with this morning. It's absolute nonsense. People not knowing facts. If you're going to come and sit on this show, know the facts.
Well, I tell you what, I won't be here tomorrow then. I'm supposed to be. I won't come in. How about that? Does that please you?
Because you didn't know the facts. Just make sure you can't make a statement that's not correct. You were factually incorrect.
Hang on a second. You've made a statement saying that Roy Hodgson doesn't know his best team. How do you know that?
That's my opinion. I'm not saying it's a fact. That's a simple equation whether Russia could have qualified or not.
Aggressive, eh?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Aggressive.
Ex-professional footballers constantly sticking up for their own. It makes me sick. It makes me sick.